So friends, welcome to Physics in 20 minutes. In today's class, we are going to talk about errors of measurement, reducing errors, estimating errors, precision and accuracy. So let's start with, let's take the example of the length measurement that we took in the last video. We had a scale and a rod, and the length of the rod was measured using the scale. We saw that the length of the rod was anywhere between 6.2 centimeter and 6.3 centimeter. What will be its measured value? We noted down the measured value as 6.2 centimeter. What will be its actual or true value? It's anywhere between 6.2 and 6.3, and it is uncertain. Generally, the true value of any quantity to be measured is always uncertain. So what we do? We take large number of such observations and then we find the mean of all these values. Such a mean is the most accepted true value of the quantity. So what is the error in the measurement? An error in the measurement is the difference between a measured value and the true value of the physical quantity. There are 4 types of errors: constant errors, systematic errors, personal errors, accidental or random errors. We will look into them one by one. First, constant errors. The errors which affect each measurement by the same amount are called constant errors, and they are generally very difficult to identify. Let's take an example. An incorrectly calibrated scale. Suppose I have 2 scales. You can see in the diagram there are 2 scales, 2 centimeter scales. But you can see that the lower scale is longer than the upper one for 10 centimeter. If I consider the upper scale to be correct, then the lower scale will be incorrect. If I use the lower scale for length measurement, all my length readings will go wrong by similar amount. Another example, a current meter due to its own resistance may give incorrect readings. How to eliminate such errors? You use a different instrument or you recalibrate your instrument or your procedure. Another type of errors are called as systematic errors. The errors which occur according to some definite rule are called systematic errors. Generally, it's zero error. It may be positive, it may be negative. Let's take an example. If I'm measuring height of the water column using a scale and water placed in the beaker, then you can see that in this setup, all the height readings are going to go wrong. Why? Because the zero is not positioned at the bottom of the water. If the pointer of the voltmeter is not pivoted at the center of the scale, it will show you wrong reading. How do you eliminate them? It can be eliminated by proper use of instruments. The third type of errors are personal errors. The errors which occur due to the limitations of human senses, judgment and responses are called personal errors. Let's take an example of measurement of temperature in a thermometer. The value of the measured temperature will differ depending on the direction in which you are taking the readings. The correct way of taking the reading is from the direction of B. Better training can eliminate such errors. The fourth type of errors are called accidental or random errors. As the name suggests, these errors are not due to any systematic or constant cause. It can be due to the changes in ambient conditions like temperature, pressure, etc. They occur irregularly and they are generally difficult to predict or eliminate completely. So what are the general ways to reduce errors? Take as large as possible the magnitude of the quantity to be measured with the given measuring instrument. So for example, if your weighing scale can measure up till 100 kg, and if you measure 500 gram on such a scale, you are going to get wrong readings or no readings at all. Use an instrument whose least count is as small as possible So for example, a vernier caliper will always going to give you more accurate reading than a meter scale. Take a large number of readings and calculate their mean value. The mean value is the best estimate of the quantity to be measured. Experimental conditions like temperature, pressure, humidity should remain constant within the tolerable limit. Remember, it's very challenging task to control these parameters in a student laboratory, but a point must be remembered. How do we estimate errors? As we have seen, the mean value is the most accepted value of the true value of the quantity. So if you take number of such readings, then you take a total of all such readings and divide it by total number of observations. This will give you the mean value, which is generally considered as the true value of the quantity. Absolute error in the measurement is given by the difference of the mean value from the each individual readings. Remember, we are looking at the difference of the two, so it's a modulus. We ignore plus minus sign, which is generated at the end of this calculation. Mean absolute error, it is the arithmetic mean of the magnitudes of absolute errors in all the measurements of the quantity. So we have calculated number of absolute errors for each measurement. We sum all the absolute errors and divide by total number of observations to get the mean absolute errors. What are relative error or fractional error? The relative error or fractional error is defined as the ratio of mean absolute error to the mean value of the quantity measured. So that's delta A bar upon AM. What are percentage error? When the relative fractional error is expressed in percentage, we call it percentage error. Percentage error is equal to delta A bar upon AM into 100. Now let's check these formulae with the help of example. An object was weighed by a physical balance and following readings were obtained: 5.06 gram, 4.97 gram, 5.00 gram, 4.93 gram. Find mean value, absolute error, percentage error, etc. At this point, you can pause the video, use these values to solve the problems, check the formulas which has already been given, and come back and check the solution. Here is the solution. You can see that we first find the mean value. We take the sum of all the individual readings and divide by total number of observations. That gives you the mean value as 5.00. Each reading is up to third decimal place. Mean value, now we have got 5.00. Now we can calculate other errors. Absolute errors in each observation can be calculated. Delta A1 is 5.04 minus 5 in modulus. That will give you 0.04. Delta A2 0.06. Delta A3 0.03. Delta A4 0.00. Delta A5 0.07. So now we have calculated mean value, we have calculated absolute errors in each measurement. Now we can calculate the mean absolute errors. We take total of all the absolute errors and divide by total number of observation. This gives us mean absolute error. Hence we calculate relative error, delta A bar by AM, that comes out to be 0.008. Percentage error, delta A bar by AM into 100, which is 0.8%. Precision. What do we mean by precision in a measurement? Generally, smaller the least count of the measuring instrument, more precise is the measurement. A clock which has a least count in minutes will always be less precise than the clock which has a least count in seconds. More precise does not necessarily mean more accurate. Let's try to understand it. A train A reaches to its destination plus minus 10 minutes late. Train B is always 15 minutes late. Which one is more precise? Which one is more accurate? So let's look at the answer. The train A, it is plus minus 10 minutes late. So its average time of reaching would always turn out to be the exact scheduled time. So such a train is more accurate, but it is less precise because it deviates in its arrival time by 20 minutes plus minus 10 minutes. While the train B will be more precise because it reaches always 15 minutes late, but it is less accurate because it's always reaching late to its destination. A high quality measurement is both precise as well as accurate. Let's take another example. 3 shooters fired 4 bullets at a target. Ram's 4 bullet hit at a point 9 cm above, 9 cm below, 9 cm to the left and 9 cm to the right of the target. Govind's 4 bullet hit 1 cm off a point 30 cm from the center. Shyam's all 4 bullets hit within 1 cm of the center. Who is more accurate and who is more precise? At this point, you can pause the video, solve the problem, and then come back and look at the solution. So here is the solution. Let's discuss. Ram is shooting in all 4 corners at mostly equal distance from the center. So if you take average of his shooting positions, mean value will turn out to be the center. So he is going to be more accurate. But he is not very precise because his shots are going much away from the center. All Govind's 4 bullets hit very close to a point. So he is very precise, but he is not very accurate because target is center and he is hitting far away from the center. Shyam's all 4 bullets hit exactly at the center and very close to each other. So he is very precise as well as very accurate. Here are some activities for you after this video. Please solve them. Thank you.